Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Toonkind at 12 FPS. I am Oatmeal, and today I will be playing the Professor. And joining me is the lovely Morski.
Hey, uh, hi there. I am here with the lovely and fantastic Oatmeal, and I'm here bringing my bringing my own detective Moria.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this talk has been a long time going between these two, so
Mm-hmm.
uh, another
Absolutely.
another round another round of interrogation for the prof, but also
That's
he's getting a hug beforehand, so you know.
e. That's right, because this is taking place after the games Paint and Stone and Fetch the Professor, and the subsequent FPSs, of which there are quite a few, in which people gave Professor what for scaring them and maybe making some bad decisions in combat.
Maybe.
He's been very stubborn about it.
Yeah, man did really get harassed so hard by children. Now
Yeah.
he gets to add another adult to the
Mm,
tally. So,
yes. So, oh, we are going to. It's probably a week, maybe a week and a half, out from Professor actually coming back. Um, and he has been hanging out a little more than he. Well, I guess he didn't do this at all before, but he has been hanging out at the Leighton Plus household for some of this time, and that's where he is now. He's in the kitchen. Uh, I don't know, probably reading a newspaper and having some tea.
fair, valid. Which it's the extended Leighton household. Moria comes here a lot. She has already been here. Well, multiple times in the past week, as per usual. But in this particular case, oh, good, she found the person she's searching for. Does Prof want to do a perception to see if he gets surprised by Moria
Mm.
coming up to him?
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Perception. That's a 13.
I guess I'll roll.
You roll
I
stealth if you
guess
want.
I'll roll a stealth for a vibe check on how quiet she is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Ah.
21.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get for well, for someone who isn't that quiet by nature, she really can surprise someone on occasion. Uh, I like her shortness is coming in clutch right now for this. But Prof, you look up from the newspaper and Moria's right there. Possibly she like nudged you out of it by kicking the chair you're sitting in just slightly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, stars, Moria.
This does get a snort out of her, but so it's been a little time since the recent events. I think it would be good if we talked about it.
Right. All right. Um, he just sort of like looks around the kitchen. Do you want to do it here or?
Shall we do it in the backyard? Just slightly less of a chance that we'll be overheard.
That's probably better. um, and he'll fold up the newspaper and put it down. Um, put his tea down and make his way outside, out back.
You can take the tea with you. I'll pick up some snacks. Yeah.
All right. He will do that then.
I imagine there's like at least a bench or something in the backyard that the Layston household has, so like they're able to put things down there.
Yeah, some kind of backyard chair or bench.
Yeah, yeah, table and such.
Picnic table
Uh,
maybe, I don't know.
yeah, but Moria is kind of waiting for when you put the things down
Mhm.
before she asks. So first things first, would you be alright with a hug?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to roll athletics
Oh.
because it's funny to me.
Mhm.
uh, let me just double check. Okay, yeah, it is this. so,
Mhm.
so low roll, which means it's a 17.
Mhm.
But Moria is being careful in this case to not crush you too badly. But
Mhm.
she was worried. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, Professor gives uh a firm hug back. Oh, I did miss you guys.
And we missed you. I get the feeling you've already been told this a lot, but you worried the fuck out of us. Please try not to repeat this.
I'm not. I'm going to try. Believe me, I don't want to do this again either.
Okay, I'll take that. And you are let go, and you can sit down if you'd like.
Mhm. Yeah, he will.
Uh, no, Moira will sit down as well and go. So there are a couple things I've been wanting to ask you. First things first for now is, so are you holding up all right after all of that?
Mm.
I haven't gotten all of the details, but
Uh, well, yes. Well, it's been nice to sort of uh, return to uh, a sort of normal. Um, he is like acutely aware that she doesn't necessarily know that his thing is a time machine.
I mean, he did mention being able to hop dimensions, so she can assume there's a lot of traveling, but
He,
I'm gonna be real with you. Moore is going to be rolling an insight right now to make sure he isn't lying his ass off like
mm-hmm,
some people he knows. So
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
dang, the dice really did this to me, huh? Well, that's a nat one, which makes it a 13.
Ah, man. Um, man. Uh, Jeez, and that one. Um, that's a good modifier, though. I don't know. You can't. He seems to believe this at any rate.
I'm gonna be real with you. The Moria in my head is still squinting at this.
That's fair.
Might have beefed the roll, but like
Mm-hmm.
it's not the gallery, and like some people, she knows most people actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, correct. Thank you, Fletch. Oh, if that wasn't a nat one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. Uh, right now she's just kind of listening to you with an eyebrow raised. Just in the, oh, you're not bullshitting me, are you? Like she doesn't say that out loud, but that's the expression.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've tried. I've been trying to take it easy. Um, how much do you know about what happened? I mean, you know, I went missing. Uh, for a bit.
I do also know that Leo and a couple friends had to go pick you up, and
Yes.
it was bad enough that it made Camille very nervous.
Yes. Right. Well, when we went to that museum, we ended up in a fight with some monsters, aberrations, as a matter of fact. Not sort of like points at Moria, like not the kind that you deal with, but the uh, just sort of monster typing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ended up in a fight with some aberrations. They are ones that I knew of.
Yeah.
And very, very dangerous. So we were having a hard time just holding out. Didn't really. I wasn't sure how we would escape. But then I got knocked out and teleported somewhere else. One of the things they can do.
Would you tell me more about those aberrations and what sort of teleported somewhere else? Because I presume that it wasn't somewhere one can easily reach.
What?
Considering plot devices tend to be pretty good about that, so I presume you figured out where you land. Where did you land?
Oh. Yes, I landed in nice little place called Tinkerton, up in the Independent Isles. Is it the northeast bit of Inkwell?
Okay.
I'd never been there before, but that's where I was.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I don't have a plot device. I use the ellipsis itself to contact the chat, so I
Ah.
couldn't really. He is leaving something out. That he's trying to figure out how to talk around, but
Yeah, Moria's looking at that. I'll be real with you, like, she will just straight out say, so there is something you are leaving out.
uh,
What are you trying to lie to me about?
all right, all right. I had to tell Tome. I might as well tell you too. Just don't tell anyone else. All right.
Okay.
So the ellipsis is not just a teleportation device. It's also a time machine.
Ah, okay.
In addition, these monsters, they are called Mournful Azamar. They appear to be statues. They appear as statues of Azamar or Deva, as might be found in a graveyard or such. Their ability is not just teleportation, but transport through time, specifically back in time.
Ah,
So
well, that certainly explains some things, like,
I couldn't
I
just phone
presume,
home.
yeah. Okay, well, first things first, you get a slight bunk on the shoulder, Prof. And look, I won't tell anyone about this, but like, don't worry, your time traveling is no worse than like some of us here being from another universe. It's fine, you know.
I
Rolf is literally talking to an isekai right now, so Moria's just
yeah,
all right. This
he
might as well happen.
yeah, he knows that. Um, it's less that and more if people know, uh, if people who aren't like you and the others know, they'll try and uh, take that power for themselves. Because, as you could imagine, it can be used irresponsibly very, very easily.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm well aware. Don't worry. I won't be telling anyone about it, yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. Though
But,
I suppose this might be something you're still used to, but
hmm?
I suppose next time if you have the chance, try and call for more help, alright? I imagine it wasn't the best situation when, well, you got taken. And the impression I got was that Leo was with friends closer to his age.
Yes,
So,
that's true. One a little older, one, well, a Toon who appeared um, to be, I don't know, a young teenager, but uh, told us um, that she'd essentially come into existence uh, within the past couple days.
oh,
Yeah.
have you managed to get back in contact with her?
Yes, and she's actually doing all right. She's, despite sort of coming into existence on her own, she does have already some friends to stay with, and people she can rely on for food and shelter and the like.
Okay, that's good.
Believe me, that was one of my
I,
first priorities to check.
good. More like Moria is glad that oh, it's really nice having more responsible adults around. Oh, okay, that's good.
Yes,
I
so
suppose. I suppose a question is: will we need to worry about those ASMRs coming back? Will they come after you?
ah,
Moria internally going, do I need to add a hammer to my repertoire?
well, we let's see, we destroyed two of them, but there's two of them or three of them, at least two. Um, but there's another. Let's see, one, two. There's another two or three that are at large. Um,
Okay.
they uh, they did run off, um, and one of the ones we destroyed was their eldest member. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, they could cause some trouble yet.
How does one deal with them, and how on earth do they view that taking a person to the past bit?
Mm. Well, uh, the thing about these creatures is that they can move at astonishing speeds, but only if they're not being observed.
Okay.
Quantum locked is the phenomenon. Um, if
Mm-hmm.
you look at them, uh, they are they may as well just be a actual stone statue. They just can't move. But in the moment that you blink, they can cross a room and hit you.
Okay.
They can be destroyed by fairly normal means. You can hit them back. And you are able to keep them in place with a mirror if their eyes are uncovered, and they can see themselves in the mirror. They are essentially being observed by themselves, which, although a bit recursive, does work.
Okay.
It's just not a good long-term solution because any depiction of these aberrations, whether it be a drawing or a photo or indeed the reflection in a mirror, can, if accurate enough and given enough time to develop, will manifest one of these mournful Azamars itself. Essentially,
Okay.
uh, the image of an angel becomes itself an angel.
Well, messed up, but it's a good thing to know that they can still be destroyed, so I will keep that in mind then.
Yes.
Moria voice, we got another one of those monstrosities back like in the Metropolis. Joy.
No.
Well, here we go again. But, okay. Well, first of all, thanks for telling me. And second of all, I am really glad you're back and safe.
Thank you. I was, well, I already mentioned the time travel. I guess it's worth saying. What was about a day, 2 days here, I was actually stuck in the past for about a month.
I see.
It was...
So would you like another hug?
Yes.
I appreciate that Prof is just going, yes.
Uh-huh.
Get side hugged, dork.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Moria's just going to sit like this now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Professor's happy.
Oh.
As for sending people back into the past, well, there's... well, they did send somebody else, and I've got to fix the ellipsis back up so that I can retrieve that person. Was one of the
Okay.
security guards at the museum.
Ah.
But, generally speaking, they can do this to enough people. If they send them back far enough, if they do, if they send them to the past, and the idea is that they live out the rest of their lives. If this person does anything that we would view in the present, write a memoir, or be in a photo, or write a will, and we observe it before going back in time, that essentially sets it in history, and I can't change that.
Okay.
If I get news of their death in the present before I can rescue them from the past, that's it. They're just gone.
Okay. You said the ellipsis is broken, yeah?
Uh, essentially.
Okay.
She needs rather extensive repairs.
Well, I assume you're able to repair her, but what does she need for that? Have
Um,
you been able to talk to Camille about it? He's quite handy with fixing things.
uh,
So I think you already know that.
yes. I haven't spoken to him about that specifically, but I actually have a few people in mind to help me with it. But there are some some tasks that I have to sort of sort out myself first to essentially make it safe for other people to work on. And there are a few matters that really only I know how to do, but there are other bits that I could absolutely use the help with. So
Okay.
once it's uh, once it's sort of ready for that, I'll be calling in several friends to help with that.
Okay. Well, I'll be holding you to that then, alright?
Of course.
There are a couple things I would like to ask, though.
Oh,
So I am glad to hear that it seems like you're picking yourself up pretty okay here. But there are some things that happened previously we should talk about.
previously?
Yes. So I do respect the fact that I presume you were making sure to protect the kids. But you are rather in the habit of doing some self sacrificial things. For example, using life transference when you could very well use cure wounds.
I could not have used. Alright. In that fight specifically, yes, I could have used cure wounds, but didn't. I didn't know if it would be enough. And life transference heals more. Uh,
It also hurts you.
yes. I
Moria's not looking away.
I thought I could handle it.
And if it comes to a time where you can't handle it,
Well, I knew there was at least another healer present. Although, uh, well, I mean, with these things, if they knock you out, uh, you, you are kind of just sent back in time. Uh, Granted, you get to stay alive, but still in very bad shape. Well, thankfully, I was found by some nice people, but
Moria does not look impressed.
it's just a risk and reward sort of thing.
That is no excuse. I'm not doing this to try and torture you, yeah? But Professor, you're not stupid. I think you're well aware that we all worry when you get hurt as well, yeah?
Yes. I mean, you don't really need to worry as much as you do, because I really. I.
I'm sorry, but Moria does not look any any less unimpressed.
Goodness. Look, I can handle a lot.
Just because you can handle a lot doesn't mean you should have to.
I guess. And, well, of course, if I didn't have to. Obviously, I prefer not to get hurt when possible, but if I can take a hit and help somebody else, then it can be worth it.
It can be, but I suppose what I want to ask is please try and take care of yourself a little better, yeah? I consider you my friend. And while I'm glad that you are trying to look out for the others and for me as well, in turn, I'm going to try and look out for you too.
Mm-hmm. I already promised the boys and Azumi that I'd try not to use the spell as much. So.
Well, could you extend that promise to me as well then?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry, it sounds a little the prof is coughing right now and the image is killing me.
Yeah. uh. Yeah. No, he's definitely a little like, like there's some begrudging there. It's like, yeah, fine.
I am I, I am just laughing a bit like yeah, the pecking tones of prof is very much like it. How do you say the word chastise sibling?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah. That is exactly the vibes right now. That is exactly the vibes right now. I am holding them
Mm-hmm.
very softly, but this is still very amusing.
Oh yeah. I think though that like uh on that subject, um he uh they've probably got like from the side hug like their arms over each other's shoulders, but like he gives Moria a bit of a squeeze and then like pokes her shoulder with his other hand, and he goes, "What about you? You've got
Hmm?
uh you've got, let's see, it's Bloodhunter magic, isn't it? I've seen that before."
It looks to be, I admit it's something, well, I've had it for 2 years now, I suppose.
Ah, when you came over from, right.
Yeah. I'm guessing you have questions about that. Yeah, I never did get the chance to tell you how exactly I was brought to Quill.
I do.
Sorry, props reaction. Oh boy. Well, Prof, if you want to interrogate her about that, now's your chance.
Mm-hmm. So, uh, do you remember what happened when you, uh, left the metropolis and got transported here to Inkwell?
I remember most of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been dealing with the aberration cases here, yes?
Yes.
The first aberration case wasn't in Einquill, but was in the metropolis.
Ah.
Some people had gone missing, and some of them were my associates. So
Hmm.
I went to take a look. Uh, a pause, and Moria pulls back the sleeve on her left arm a bit,
Hmm.
and effectively she has some bandages around her wrist.
Hmm.
There was At the time I didn't know what it was, but I presume it's an aberration. And well, it managed to grab me.
Hmm.
I am pretty lucky, I suppose, for being to having the strength I have because I managed to break through. I do not think the others did.
Hmm.
And more is taken off those bandages a bit, and it's kind of interesting. It's like a hand grabbed her there,
Hmm.
except this is very clearly a burn, closer to maybe what a healed acid burn looks like.
Oh, I know what that looks like.
So,
And does it still hurt?
well, it's been 2 years now, so not anymore. But
You still keep it covered?
oh yeah, best to keep it covered.
Hmm.
It's So the situation is that happened, and after I managed to escape from it, that's about the time I was taken to Einquell.
Hmm. And what did.
I don't remember. I don't remember the specifics of what happened there.
Hmm.
Someone else had arrived, but I didn't get to see them very well. And next thing I know, between a blink and the next, I was in Villastown.
Mm-hmm.
I had my smoking pipe in the hand that was burnt, and, well, I was somewhere very new.
Hmm. You had this smoking pipe while you were in the metropolis.
No, not really.
No. Oh, see, this was new then.
Mm?
Hmm.
I didn't have magic when in the metropolis either. Doesn't really exist there, though I suppose some of the technology can look like magic.
No, it did seem odd to me. I only know so much about the metropolis, but it didn't strike me as a place rich with magic. I sort of figured that maybe you were just an unusual case, but if there really isn't any there, then and you got it coming here. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not an especially magical person regardless, and I'm anyway using the skills I know from previous work when I have to fight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's something that I mostly got to learn about here, really.
Mm-hmm. Can I can I see your smoking pipe?
Uh, She pulls it out of his sleeve and hands it over.
Mm-hmm. He's going to cast Identify on it, which I can pull it up here. Spell Identify. Yep. Up to you whether it counts as an object or a creature, considering.
So here's the thing. It's
It does take a minute, so he's gonna be like sitting there looking at it for a solid minute.
yeah. Oh man, it's an interesting case. It genuinely is an object, but it will register as being the same sort of being as Moria.
Mm-hmm.
You can also tell what magic she has comes from it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, the fact that she has a blood hunter magic and she's a profane soul blood hunter, hexblade.
Ah.
You'd be able to register that from it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the magic she has, it's very smoke themed, which, fitting. It is a smoking pipe.
Sure.
You can tell that it's got it has a more powerful spell stored in that you haven't seen Moria used before, and you get the sense that one in particular, if Blood Hunter magic already takes a little bit of life force, this one takes a little bit more, being that it's stronger.
Mm-hmm. I see. Interesting. This... You essentially have a pact with this sort of magic. Was you aware that you have a pact? Or not, maybe not a formal pact, that you... that was written on a scroll or something, but effectively your magic comes from something else in the similar manner as warlocks.
I had a feeling, though I never really got the chance to check it out properly.
There's certainly more magical potential here, but, well, like the rest of this class's magic, it's going to have a cost.
That one I already know about. I had to use it previously. With the first couple aberration cases when I was on my own,
Ah, I see.
Is Prof going to ask how those turned out? By any chance?
Yeah. He's just kind of like thinking for a second, and he's like, why did you have to use something that strong?
So, I didn't exactly have a house at first when I came here. Nor really the money to afford much. So those first couple of cases, when I dealt with them, I was the only one handling them.
Ah, right.
Stretched myself a bit thin, admittedly. So it eventually led to the case where I met Azumi and everyone else. But before that, I did have to use some of the stronger magic to get out of those fights, okay? not really sustainable in the long run, though.
Do you remember what spell it was?
From what I've read, I believe the spell itself is something along the lines of inflict wounds.
Oh. That is... Well, that makes sense.
Takes a lot of energy out of me. And like out of character, if Moria uses it, it would give her a point of exhaustion.
Ooh, that's rough. Well, that's a very effective spell.
Very good very good if the situation requires something to go down.
Yes, yes. You managed all right for those first few cases? Did you get very hurt?
Moria's being you know that silence that was very much in character for Moria. Well, I'm all right now. Let's put it that way.
I see. All right. Do you have any... Look, as a healer, I have to ask. Do you have any lingering wounds or damage, anything that hasn't healed properly?
As far as I'm aware, I have recovered. Compared to the past, I'm not quite as strong as I used to be, but, well, my lifestyle hasn't exactly been the safest. That caught on after 50 years.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But at least for the situation I'm in now, I am doing my best to take care of myself.
Good.
Helps that I do have others like you or Tom or all the kids pestering me when I overwork. So.
Yes, well, we can work on pestering each other then, in that case.
Yeah, we can. Though, talking about pestering, I do have one last thing to ask you.
Oh?
You mentioned you had a best friend who tried to kill you in the past. Are you okay?
Oh, him. Yes, I've kind of gotten used to it.
That's not a good thing, you know?
Well, no, but I mean, look, he started when we were, oh God, when was that? I don't know, we were like, 25-ish, and it's just been sort of a regular occurrence since then.
It is one thing to have a rival, it's another thing if they're trying to kill you. How often is this happening? Do we need to have... Do I and perhaps Tone need to go have a talk with this friend of yours?
Oh, well, I don't think that'll be necessary because, he might be dead. He, he's,
I think Moria has face palmed.
Look.
She's still listening, though. Trust me on that.
He's cheated death, so to speak, many more times than I have. And he's kind of run out of chances. Last I checked, he sort of,
Last you checked,
yeah,
huh?
he escaped our last encounter, which was, I don't know, a good 10 plus years ago, in bad shape.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where he went or if he survived, but I mean,
Okay, so I'll note down that we might have your homicidal bestie visiting at some point. Good to know.
well, I don't. Yeah, no, I guess he would. If he was able to, he absolutely would visit, wouldn't he? He's the
I do
worst.
want.
He's obsessed with me.
Oh, so he's that kind of. Okay. Okay. Well, if you do wish to talk to him, like, of course you can. But, don't be afraid to, like, call, yeah? For help. I'll come over. You've seen that I am pretty well acquainted with beating people up.
Yes. Oh,
I'm sure Tom will be happy to help as well.
right. I don't.
Kids as well, but we might not want to involve them with this sort of thing.
Yeah, depending on how strong he is, that might be something we want to keep them out of. But
Mm.
good grief. I honestly, I kind of,
Hmm?
I hope he kind of just stays away for now.
Yeah.
Because,
Oh,
he keeps trying to take over the world and things. Otherwise I would just, you know, leave him. But he keeps making trouble and I have to stop him and then he tries to kill me and,
that they certainly sound like a character.
yes. He's a real piece of work.
Okay. Okay. Moria is just like mentally writing down notes for okay. Note to self: if Prof's old friend comes over, beat the tar out of them. There won't be any regrets involved. Fun family bonding for the team.
uh, man. Well, yes, I guess that's, yeah,
If you
that's,
need help breaking up with him, like, don't worry,
we're
I'll
not,
help.
we're not, it's not like that. Look, I, I can't, I haven't been able to, he's, he's died many times, but none of them by my hand. I can't, I've never, I don't know, never been able to bring myself to do it. We used to
I
be,
mean,
we used to be best friends.
okay, so the shit post default in my head is like, don't worry, you won't be getting him here either. We got Moria and Tome for that. Um, for a more to be the prof. Don't worry, Moria's had to handle people before. She's got experience. Uh, but for a more genuine answer, uh, I think in this case, Moria is going to squeeze you in the hug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'll hug back.
Well, if it helps any, you won't have to handle him alone, yeah? And you don't have to be the one to kill him either, okay?
Well, I don't want him dead. I just want him to stop.
I think in the end that will be his choice, but can certainly try talking to him.
I always do.
Okay, plan rearrange in Moria's head to just like beat the tar out of the guy and then sit on him. While he's given a rant.
Uh-huh.
They can do that. They can do that.
Well, oh, yes, I suppose I'll tell you his name in case he does show up.
Yes.
He calls. Well, he also goes by a bunch of aliases, but if he's calling
Oh.
himself by what he usually does, he's the maestro.
Okay. Why that? Why that out of all names?
It means master, and he's got an even bigger ego than I.
Well, that's certainly saying something. I suppose if he's trying to take over the world, though, it fits.
Yes. And we were both really into music when when he picked the name, so it's a bit of an influence there. Bards.
Bards indeed. Don't worry. If your ego ever gets too big, you got people who will remind you to be humble. Moria's giving you a bit of a nice cat look.
Oh, good. No, that's all right. Especially after this past week and a half, I can acknowledge that I sometimes need a bit of a check in that regard.
Good, because we will be doing this again. I can already tell. I say this with all the love in my heart, but you get into as much, if not more, trouble than Tome does, and that says something. Not quite on Camille's level yet, but please try not to get there.
Oh gosh, I hope not. I mean, what he's got going on is unnatural.
I really don't understand how the plot works, and at this point, I'm a little bit worried to ask.
I don't like the plot. Well, gosh, how much trouble does Tome get into?
Moria just has a look on her face, the long-suffering look of an elder sibling. Congrats, Prof. You think you've seen her have this expression when thinking about the trouble you get into.
Uh-huh. Well, I did have
Honestly.
I did, what was it, last week? Just kind of had to wrestle him into putting a dangerous chemical in secondary containment, so I can see
Moria
where...
puts her head in her hands.
Right?
Okay, so I will also need to bully him over that, I see. Thank you for making sure to get him into putting it into secondary containment. Oh my goodness.
Mm. Yeah, it's fine now. We're going to deal with that.
Yeah, yeah. Um. Well, I guess worst comes to worst, we can pull an intervention on him together.
Hmm. Yes.
Honestly, with the amount of travel that catches all of you, I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's been rather quiet on my end. Oh, oh well.
Huh. Well, thank you for checking up on me.
Always. You are my friend, you know. I'd like to see you be okay.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. I think he just squeezes her shoulder again and tilts his head to knock on top of her head.
Moria snorts at that, but he'll get to squeeze back, and she's comfortable here, really.
Mm-hmm.
The conversation went well.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I hope these two does. I suppose do you have do you have anything else you can think of, or would Prof like to ask anything else?
I don't think so. He kind of, for the most part, covered, I think, what he was thinking about.
Okay, cool. Uh, yeah, congratulations, Prof. You are the first one to find out about this extra spell, because
Eee.
Moria admittedly hasn't been talking about it because I think she is rightly aware that yeah, if people found out that she had to kind of
Mm.
give herself exhaustion points that first month or two,
Yes.
they would definitely be throttling her for scared.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah, he's gonna be watching out if he is around when she has to do it again. Uh he's just gonna come over and fix that himself. He's got greater restoration. He doesn't care.
bless.
It's a high level spell, but this is not exhaustion is not fun. He knows this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like honestly speaking, Moria is glad she hasn't had to use it since she's met the others.
Mm-hmm.
She will if the situation gets that dire, but
Mm-hmm.
thankfully it hasn't happened yet. So,
Yeah. Yee.
uh, but this was a really lovely FPS. Thanks, Oatmeal.
Yes, thank you. Oh, good.
And to everyone who's listening, both now and in the future, you're awesome and we love you.
Yay.
Bye bye.
Bye.